One of our brightest opera stars in the world, Isabel Bayrakdarian, is here at CivilNet. Welcome to the homeland. What brings you here this time?
My visit to Armenia this time around is completely just to be. I'm enjoying the art of being in my homeland. What brought me to this part of the world, I should say, is the opening of the cathedral in Moscow. I was invited by Vehapar to participate in the gala concert to celebrate the opening of the church. It was the first time for me to be in Moscow, and I couldn't miss the opportunity. And thankfully, I didn't have any conflicts with other performances on that day. And I just, it's a huge honor, of course, to be performing in. First of all, it is a huge honor to be asked to participate in the concert. Second, any church that is being built is a cause to celebrate, especially in today's world. A church, a structure of a church automatically brings all Armenians together. And when all Armenians are brought together, they automatically preserve their language, their heritage, their culture, their religion, which all of these have always been the prerequisites for our survival. Therefore, for me, it was a big cause to celebrate the actual construction of one of the biggest churches and church complexes in the world. And the concert itself was actually a big honor as well, because the conductor was Edward Topchian, who was a very dear friend with whom I've collaborated with the Armenian Philharmonic Orchestra for many, many years, almost 10 years now. Making music with good friends is always a very pleasurable experience. And the caliber of the performers on that concert was also very high. Examples are Sergei Khachaturian, the wonderful violinist, and just to be in such a celebratory event was just a big honor, and your heart swells with pride for our accomplishments, and therefore, of course, after the concert, I just couldn't go back to North America without coming and visiting Yerevan. I've been to the city many times, but it has never coincided with Independence Day, and I think it's a day that unites all Armenians from all over the world more than anything. So we're here to just be and be happy and just celebrate.
13 years ago, when you burst into the scene and won the competition that you were part of, the Plastigo Domingo competition, where were you as a person? You'd studied science, and then suddenly this new door opened. Tell us about that.
Yeah, my university education is in biomedical engineering, and you wouldn't think that the trajectory of an engineer would involve winning the Metropolitan Opera competition or the Placido Domingo Operalia competition. But I always loved to sing, and my primary reason to study singing was so that I could sing better in church. Truly, it was no grand design to be on a stage, to be applauded, and to become a celebrity. Truly, it was just our Armenian church music is just so unique and divine that if you have any kind of technical limitation, then you're not doing justice to it. And that completely was my entire reason to take the singing lessons. And the positive outcome of that was that perhaps maybe because my dream wasn't to become famous, I was driven by passion. Many doors opened because of that, I believe. One of them, it's true, was just winning competitions just easily, and I don't think I really can't take entire credit for that. I really think it was a divine intervention, and there was nothing I could have done to have planned all the wonderful things that have happened to me. It just happened, and I'm very grateful for them, and I feel truly blessed.
In a span of 13 years, you've won incredibly big honors and awards, from the Junos to the Grammy. You've performed with the most incredible and talented symphonies and orchestras and operas. How do you reflect on this? What were the highlights? What were the most memorable moments for you?
My life has been a wonderful journey so far. And the journey has a lot of its interesting moments, difficult, challenging moments. Perhaps you're only hearing about the beautiful parts of the journeys, but my journey has been incredibly unique. Again, I am extremely thankful for the wonderful things that have happened. I embrace them all as they come. So, to answer your question, there is no really particular highlight. Each one of them adds a different shade and a different color and a different angle to my journey, not just my musical journey, but just my journey through music.
One of the highlights for us was watching the documentary A Long Way Home.
Long Journey Home.
Long Journey Home. Canadian produced, yes. And it brought you here to the homeland. Talk about that experience. What did it mean for you?
Being in Armenia for the first time for any Armenian, it's a very emotional and a spiritual experience. But to have that captured on a documentary, now that I look back on it, I see how special it was and how important it was that it was done at that exact time in my life. I was just starting out. My mother was with me. I was just engaged. I was in a very, very different place in my life of innocence, protection, and my viewpoints. When I see that documentary right now, I'm very touched as to who I was, and but it's part of the growth, of course. And I see the big eye approach to life, and how hungry I was to just absorb everything in my homeland, and I think that translated to a very honest documentary, which spoke to many, many people, not just Armenians. I'm very glad that through that documentary, which really wasn't intended as a PR thing at all, it turned out to introduce Armenia and its churches, and especially the music, to non-Armenians who did not know where Armenia was, who did not know who Armenians were, and very educated people who knew pretty much about the rest of the world, but somehow had missed Armenia. So in many ways it did become like a tool to know our homeland, and I'm very, very, very proud to have been part of it and to have had a part in it. But I can't take full credit. It's the music that I was just the conduit of the music and the messages.
And because of your documentary and because of your acclaim in mainstream opera and the world of art, you've become an ambassador of song, an ambassador of culture for us. And one of the incredible journeys was bringing Gomidas to mass audiences. Yes. Talk about that.
That was very unusual, I know, because when we first started to approach companies or recording companies for no one knew Gomidas. They didn't know how to say Gomidas, and we had so many variations. But the music, the instant they heard the music, they loved it. And we did a little bit of an experiment, Seruj and I. We programmed Gomidas songs in a recital of Ravel, Liszt, Brahms, obradors, Spanish, French, quite established composers. Wonderful program. The only thing that people always commented on after the recitals, how much they loved the Gomidas group. And you know, it's one thing for us Armenians to say, oh, of course they're beautiful. Part of you says, maybe we're biased. Maybe because it's our mother tongue. Maybe because it's our songs. Maybe that's why we love it. Maybe it's not good enough for the high art. But to consistently hear audiences and critics always saying how special this group of songs were to hear for the first time, you know, it's an affirmation for me as an artist of the treasures we have in our culture. And just because something feels very beautiful to me and easy doesn't mean that it's insignificant and unworthy. It was just beautiful to see that something that comes directly from within and with such ease is the one that is being understood the most. Not understood with the language, but understood with the heart of the listener.
And those are connoisseurs of music who know all of the greats.
They were a mixture, actually, not just the connoisseurs, but people like you and me who just, when they closed their eyes, somehow Gomidas resonated within them. You know, after so many years of human beings interacting with each other and cross-pollination of cultures, I've come to the conclusion that, you know, we are all related. I believe that. So I think there's an Armenian cell in everybody's genes right now. So therefore I think it's that little bit of DNA that is saying, I know this music and I feel at home.
You mentioned Seruj, your husband. You've collaborated with him throughout your career. Talk about the last collaboration. He wrote some music.
Yes, we are going to be releasing a new CD. Since Gomidas, we've had a tango CD come out, and each one of us also has had our own. He has released a couple of recordings with his group Amici Chamber Ensemble. I have released one with the Danish Symphony Orchestra on Sony. This last one, the newest one that's going to come out, is the troubadour music of women from the 12th and the 13th century. But on this recording, again, I wanted to introduce the Armenian angle. We have some beautiful songs by Sayat Nova, and he arranged them for orchestra. They're just, again, we performed this in concert before we made the recording, and it's incredible how audience members, they just go like this. They just rise up in their seats when, for example, Bulbuli Head by Sayat Nova is being performed. They just, what is it that we are about to hear? It just grabs them. So this is my new thing, to introduce the troubadour music of Armenia to the world.
When do you anticipate releasing the album?
In about a month and a half.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And you know, we need to mention before we go that you've done motion picture soundtracks.
Yes.
First we heard you singing in Ararat, Atomigoyan's movie, and then was it The Lord of the Rings?
The Lord of the Rings, yes, The Two Towers was the other one, and I've sung on a couple of other soundtracks as well. The Time Traveler's Wife being one of them. So it's very interesting to have this multidimensional. I can't say career. Career is like so formal. Multi-dimensional platform for my passion.
And we're lucky to have you performing in all those platforms.
And hopefully I'll be back in Yerevan performing very soon.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Isabel Bayrakdarian.
Thank you. My pleasure, Paul.
We'll see you.